Hi there, my name is Chelsea van Egmond and I am the artist behind Join the Creative Side, and I am super excited to share with you some tips and tricks on how to draw like a pro with colored pencils. The only things you need are a coloring page, some coloring materials like pencils, and your excitement. It is a lovely project where you can practice color transitions, textures, and details in your drawing with colored pencils. So let's get started! Thank you so much for joining this class. I am super excited to hang out with you. I'll see you in the class! Let's talk about all the resources you need for this coloring course. Some of them are optional, and for others I have cheaper alternatives. So the first thing you need is this coloring page, which you can download for free. And there's a link in the description of this course which will take you to my email list where you can download it, get updated for new coloring pages or any other products I launch in my shop, plus a small discount code on new coloring pages. The other things you need are some pencils. I am using pastel pencils. They're from Derwent. You can use any other pastel pencils. If you don't have pastel pencils, don't worry. I'm also going to show you how you can color with regular pencils. Pastel pencils are just going to help you blend your colors more smoothly, like over here. The other thing you need is a regular pencil, so one that's not pastel, which you can fade. Again, if you don't have these but only pastels, then you can use the pastel pencils. What I like about regular pencils is that you can add details and make colors darker, etc. These are also from the brand Derwent and they are the color soft, but any other brand is fine. You also need an eraser. I've got this one and I'm also using this tiny one. Something with white ink for these details. You can use a gel pen or a chalk marker, etc. That is how I get all these details. An optional thing is a white pencil for blending when you're going to color with regular pencils. If you're doing it right, you don't have to use this, but you always can use it to smooth out your colors even more. Another thing you need is a blender. I use a paper blender. It looks like this. The reason it looks like this is because I already have it for 5 years. And also the guy at the store told me to stick it in your sharpener in order to clean it, which you should never do. Learn that from me, because then it's going to look like this. The paper is going to rip and you have to keep it together with tape and it's going to get kind of gross and dirty. And now it's looking like this. So instead you have to clean it with sanding paper, which you will also need. If you don't have a blending stick like this, don't worry. You can also blend with a paper towel, some toilet paper, or a Q-tip, but don't blend with your fingers. I know that a lot of people are blending with their fingers because it's easy and we always have our fingers with us, of course. But a big side effect of blending with your fingers is your skin has natural oils. And when you're going to blend with your fingers, you're going to see fingerprints and smudges, etc. And no matter how many times you wash your hand, the natural oil is going to get back again on your hands within 7 seconds. And you just don't want to ruin your beautiful work with finger and oily smudges. Another thing you need is a pencil sharpener. And another optional thing, or actually I do recommend this, but there's an alternative, is some fixative. So this one is special made for pastel. What it does is it seals your colors. This is only handy when you're working with pastels because a lot of times you're just going to you're drawing and then you start another color, and if you forget to seal it, it's going to smudge if you accidentally touch it with your hands, for example. But since I've sealed it, it doesn't smudge. An alternative for that is hairspray. You can use it for practice, but I don't recommend hairspray. Why not? Because the nozzle of an hairspray gets clogged a lot of times, which causes it to sputter, which leaves droplets of hairspray on your work, and it's going to leave those ugly marks. Also, hairspray is kind of thicker, so when you're going to spray it, it there is a tiny chance it spreads evenly, and I don't know, I just don't recommend it if you're going to create a whole masterpiece which you're going to frame, etc. and you want to spray it because it can ruin it easily. But of course, if you want to practice, you can use hairspray. Okay, so in the first module, we're going to start by laying down the colors. And I'm going to start with the liquid, so the water slash juice in the coloring page. And if I'm going to look at my reference, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but here it's kind of a pink slash berry color. And here's going to darker to lilac and then to purple. And I actually want to do something different, but still similar. So I want the light to start from here with light pink and then going to berry to lilac to purple over here. So a nice color transition. I'm choosing this because I actually like it way more, and also then you can see better how the color transition is going to look. So this color transition will probably look more different than the second module. That's because I'm filming this again because my files got damaged and some I couldn't recover, so I have to record some over again. So that is why this transition might turn out different than the one in the next module. So I'm going to start with So for this I'm going to use pastel pencils. I've already showed you I'm using the from Derwent, the pastel pencils. I'm using pastel for this because it's a slight big surface with color transitions, and pastel pencils make it super easy to blend it out. And to create a beautiful color transition, I'm also going to add pink and purple, and when you blend these out you get that nice beautiful vibrant pink with the berry, with the lilac, with the purple. Okay, so I'm going to start with the light over here, and then I'm going to blend it with the pink over here, and then I'm going to blend it with the purple over here. So I'm going to start to color this. And you're probably thinking, why does it look like you've colored it like a 2-year-old? Because you're going to see all those pencil strokes. But don't worry, once we're going to blend it, you won't see it. So pastel is looking really rough before you actually blend it. And don't worry about the stars going over them, because if you haven't sealed it with a sealing spray, then you can still erase it. So don't worry about that. Or don't worry about crossing the lines. And now I'm going to grab the hot pink and I'm going to blend this from here until here. And then I'm going to overlap it again with the purple. So the trick to blending is that you have to overlap the color. So don't start here. but start here instead. So if you want to make transitions, and for example you want your color to end here, start a new one, make sure to end it over here to take that extra space, and start a new one about here until here, and give it here the time to transition, because otherwise it's going to look really fake if you want to blend it. Like this. And then we're going to start with the purple. So I'm going to start over here since I want to blend this, and I'm going to end over here. Also, another tip, as you can see over here, the more it goes deeper, the darker it's going to be. So if you color really close together like this, it is going to blend way darker than that you're going to draw really strokes really apart from each other, as you can see. So this is going to appear super light, and this is going to appear a little bit darker. But that is why I also like to draw in layers. I like to build it up so I can see if I need to go darker, etc. It is better to start off too light and go darker than that you go too dark and you can't go back. Of course, you can erase it, but eventually, I don't know why, but if you erase it too much, then the pastels are not going to lay down slash absorb anymore on your paper, so you can't even draw on it anymore. It's like really weird. And also, I don't like to start out too dark, because if you're going to press too hard, then you're still going to see the pencil strokes. And as you can see, while I haven't even smoothed it out, you can clearly see that this is going to be a berry color. Ta-da! And that is how you lay down the color. So make sure to press light, and when you're going to blend, that you're going to overlap. For example, here's still the light pink from here to here, while here is the transition already starting. And over here we have the hot pink with the purple that is going to turn into berry. So make sure to overlap colors, because that's going to create a beautiful transition. So this result is going to look different than in the next module. That is because my original video got damaged and I had to film it again, what I'm doing right now. So it's going to look slightly different. Don't panic, I didn't do anything without filming between those videos. It's just looking slightly different than the original. So that's just so you know. This is just a takeover. And this is how you lay down the colors before you blend it. And in the next module, we're going to actually blend the colors. And I am super excited for that. Hello everyone, and welcome to the next module. In this module, we're going to blend these colors into one smooth transition. And from there, we're going to review if we have to build it up from multiple layers to make it more saturated and darker, or if it is fine as it is. So for blending, there are a few materials you can use, and I'm going to start with the one you should not use: your fingers. You always see people blending with fingers because it's the easiest thing to blend with because you always have it with you. But I don't recommend it. Why? Because your skin has natural oils. And if you're going to blend with your fingers, you're going to see fingerprints and oil smudges. And you're probably thinking, well, I'm just going to wash my hands. Well, the fact is that those natural oils turn back on your hand within 7 seconds. So, unless you're going to wash your hands every 7 seconds, I don't recommend using your fingers. There are some things I do recommend. Those are Q tips, paper towels, and this blending stick. It's my favorite. It doesn't look so clean and good, I know. The guy in the art store told me that if you want to remove those colors over here, you can just sharpen it with a regular sharpener. Well, if I'm going to teach you one thing today, don't use a sharpener to clean out this blending stick because it's going to look like this and it's also going to snap, so you have to keep it together with tape, and I don't know, it just looks gross. So instead, what you're going to do to clean this blending stick is using some sanding paper. So what I did is I actually left it a little bit dirty so you can follow along. So you're going to grab some sanding paper, and in order to clean it, you're going to make singular strokes. So don't go up and down, but just press down and then back on the colored part, and it removes it. It sends it out like this. And when you do that, just slightly turn it every time. And ta-da, it's removed. So they usually come a lot cleaner and wider and not like this. So learn from my mistake, don't put it in your sharpener, just blend it, or I mean clean it with sanding paper. I'm going to get this. Okay, so now for the blending part, you've got your blending stick or your paper towel or your Q-tip, and now we're going to blend. So there are two ways to blend things. The first one is when you want to remain the texture of the pencil strokes, then you have to blend with the lines. So in the same direction as the lines. This is ideal if you want to create fur or grass or something that has texture, then you blend it like this. If you want to create a smooth transition and don't see those lines anymore, then you have to blend it in the opposite direction or circles. So the lines are like this, so you have to blend in the opposite direction, so you would blend like this. You can also create circles, it's what you prefer, but if you want to remove those textures, don't blend with it. So let's blend this drawing, should we? What I also always recommend is have a piece of paper on your wrist. You'll probably catch me in this video pressing my fingertips down. I try not to do that, it goes automatically. So when you can, just don't learn yourself to do that. You're still going to press your fingers down, and it's just a habit I need to quit. So don't even try to start this habit. So I'm going to fold it in half. I'm going to put my wrist underneath it, and then I'm going to start to blend. So remember, in the opposite direction or circular motion. And as you can see, this really smoothens out your drawing. Like this. So that was the top part, and now we're going to blend out this. And again, don't worry if you don't color between the lines like over here because you can erase it or you can color over it. So now we're going to color this part. What I like to do is I first go in the opposite direction like this. And then you can see the blending strokes. So then I'm going to go in the opposite direction of the blending strokes again to smoothen it out. Or create circles. It is really whatever you prefer. Okay, so I'm going to blend this out and then I'm going to get back to you. And this is the result of the blending and I absolutely love it. Here you can see that there are still some lines you can't get away, so the solution is adding another layer on it, which I'm going to do now. Like this, and as you can see it really creates a smooth gradient. So I'm going to make this part slightly darker because this part is more saturated and vibrant than this part. So I'm going to do that again with some purple. Like this, and here you have your gradient. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how you can seal this drawing. As already said before, I don't recommend using hairsprays like a lot of people tell you to do. I recommend a spray that's actually made for sealing. If you don't have this on hand, you can of course use hairspray. But the reason why I don't recommend it is hairspray is thicker and the nozzle gets clogged easily. And because of that, when you're going to spray, there can appear some droplets on your drawings. And then you can see all those droplets and they just don't go away. So for practice, you can use hairspray, but if you're going to like create a masterpiece you want to frame, don't use hairspray, use a sealer. So I have this one. It's especially for pastel. I found it in a box, so I actually have no idea where you can buy it. But if you look up for pastel sealing sprays or fixative on Google or on Amazon, you'll get there. So what I like about this, it's like really thin. It almost feels like some mist. Before you're going to seal your drawing, make sure to check, double check if you don't have any weird smudges around here that you can erase. For example, if I had a smudge here and my background's going to be light, once I'm sealing this, that smudge is going to stay there. You can't remove it anymore. So check, double check. I smudges over here, but I already know that I'm going to color this blue, so it doesn't matter. And here it's going to be gray, so you won't see it either. So what you're going to do is you're going to give it a few quick sprays, and then it's going to be sealed. Don't do it too thick, just some sprays are enough. And as you see, it appears more vibrant. The colors come way more to life. It's going to reduce a little when it dries. It takes a couple of seconds. I would wait a minute. Yeah, about a minute before you're going to draw over it. You can also just feel it. Do it with the back of your finger, not at the fingerprint part. Still feels a little damp or moist, so I'm going to wait it out. And then I'm going to get back to you. Okay, so now we've colored with pastels, and in the next module I'm going to show you how to color with colored pencils. In case you don't have any pastel pencils, which is totally okay, I'm going to show you how you can build up colors with colored pencils right now. So I'm going to take this one a little bit forward. Because we're going to color the lid. And I can put my hand on it now. I don't have to worry about it because it doesn't smudge anymore since I've sealed it. So I have my reference picture here, and here you can see it's super light over here and becomes darker here. So we're going to translate that in a drawing. I have colored pencils over here. What you need is a white pencil and your colors. And then we're going to start. So just like the pastel pencils, you're going to start from light to dark and then you're going to build it up. So I'm going to use this, I'm going to use this peach color. Since when I blend colors, I always use multiple shades instead of a dark yellow and a light yellow, because then it's just going to look really one-toned. It's not going to look like three-dimensional, etc. So I always use multiple colors. So for the light yellow, I'm going to use peach. For the mid-tone yellow, I'm going to use yellow. And for the dark yellow, I'm going to use orange. If you do it like this, your colors are going to turn out way more beautiful than when you're just going to use dark and light yellow. So what you want to do is you want to press really lightly first and try to do it with the side of your pencil. And then once you go darker, you're just going to press harder. Again, don't start out pressing too hard because unlike pastel pencils, you can't erase it. You can, but it's really hard, and just keep in mind that you can't erase it. So I'm going to start out really slow over here. I'm sorry if the camera gets a little shaky. My table is not stable, and I don't have any other stable tables in the room. Say that 3 times fast. So it's almost so light that you can't even see it. Now you can check, is it too light? Do I want it to be darker, etc. And I want it to appear a little bit darker, so I'm going over it again. This time I'm going to press a little harder. And as you see, it appears darker. So I'm just going to continue until here, since we're going to blend the colors. And when you're going to blend, you want to color the colors over each other. I'm not sure if that makes sense when I say it like this, but I will show you. So here we're going to start out the mid-tone yellow, but I'm still going to color with this underneath it so it blends better. Okay, for the blending, we're going to use the mid-tone yellow now since it appears darker here. and we're going to press really soft again. Over here. And then you can color in this entire circle. And then you can go back a little and press a little bit softer over here just to blend it in. I actually want the yellow to start here because this is going to be a small light highlight. So that's why I'm coloring all the way. Like this. As you can see a small gradient. And over here, I'm just going to press a little bit harder. Like so. And then it's time for our final color, orange. I don't want to go too hard on the orange because it's like a really saturated dominant color. So it's going to take over really fast. So if I'm going to draw too much orange, it's going to have an orange shade instead of a yellow shade. So it's actually going to be an accent shading color. So I'm going to press really soft. Like this. And then I'm going to come back and press a little harder. Like this. And as you can see a beautiful gradient. So what's important is to take your time. So I'm going to blend it out more yellow over here. Like this. So as you can see, the shade is yellow, but the truth behind this is there are 3 more colors in it. So that is what I mean with your colors being more dimensional, because here you have peach, yellow, and orange. And when you blend those together, it looks like a beautiful shade of yellow. So that's how you create color transitions. Normally, when you see a lot of pencil strokes that don't blend good, you can use a white pencil. Make sure it is clean, so not that you've colored black with it and now you're going to color orange because you're going to see those black marks. But for now, I actually don't think it is necessary. But normally when you saw a big pencil stroke you want to erase, just like the pastel pencils, you have to blend in the opposite direction. So my strokes all went like this. And so you're going to blend it like this. I could show you one small part. You won't be able to see it since it's already blended good. So now I'm going to do the bottom part, just like the top part. It's going to be a slight darker shade since the light is shining on the top. So here it's going to be slightly more darker. So I'm going to use less peach, more yellow, and more orange, and I'm also going to press a little harder, and then I'm going to get back to you. So now I'm going to show you how you can add more detail to your coloring page. And after that, I have to let you go because you're already an expert in coloring the advanced way. So for this part, you're going to need a white pencil and we're going to highlight those stars again. So make sure your pencil's clean, and then we're going to color in the stars to make it come forward. Since you want to create a white effect, don't be afraid to push too hard. Now is the time where you can press real hard to make the white come forward again, like here. So this is not a go from light to dark part, this is just press hard instantly. And if you want to, you can color around the stars again, so the white will pop out even more. And here you go, you have your white stars. What you can also do is using a gel pen for adding more details. So for the final part, we're going to add detail. And as you see, I already added detail because there was an error with the video and I couldn't recover it. It got damaged some way. There was a video of me recording all of this, but it's gone. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to show real quickly how to apply these details. So for showing you how to add the final details, I'm going to use the back of a piece of paper and I'm just going to wing it. Like this. And now I'm going to show you how to add these details. So you can use a white gel pen or a white marker. I'm going to use a chalk marker for this. For the stars, you're just going to stipple like this. Like the stars I have here, those small, teeny tiny stars. And for a bubble, it looks really complicated, but it's super easy. You're going to make one circle. When it dries, it will come forward, but it doesn't have to be that opaque because it's a bubble and bubbles are transparent. Then you're going to draw a reflection, which is half a circle over here. I'm not sure if you can see it. You can see it with this one. There's a half reflection. And then we're going to add a dot. And there you have a bubble. And that is how you add all these details. So it's actually really easy. These are just dots and circles. So I encourage you to add your own details and then come back to me for the final module. Okay, we are at the final module and it's actually a goodbye module because now you know everything to finish this coloring page on your own. And you're probably thinking, No, I don't know anything. I only learned three techniques. And my answer is yes, you do know, because those three simple techniques are the only techniques you're going to need to finish this coloring page. You learned how to blend with pastels, which you could add for the background or for the class. You learned how to blend with color pencils, which you can use for adding details to the popsicles or the lollipops, or even if you want to add rough details, you can add them to the class. And you learned how to use a white chalk marker or gel pen to add your final details, which you can use for the glass reflection, the reflection on the ground if you want to, or even the glitters on the lollipops. So this was the last module. I have a bonus module where you can watch with me how I'm going to color in the rest of the coloring page. And I want to thank you so much for watching this coloring page course with me. I really hope you do enjoy it. If you have any questions, please let me know. Also, you can post it on Instagram or Facebook and tag me at Join the Creative Side. You can also follow me on those accounts and say hi. I always respond back. And if you want to check out more coloring pages, I also have an Etsy shop. It's jointhecreativeside.etsy.com, where you can get all kinds of more coloring pages. I'm going to wish you so much fun with coloring your coloring page in an advanced and professional way. And I hope you're still going to watch the bonus module with me.